or the People's Democratic Party Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, and African Network on Environment and Economic Justice, AMEEJ, have called for the immediate investigation into the alleged breach of due process in the $25 billion contract award involving the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Dr. Maikanti Baru. Human rights lawyer Inibehe Efyong joins me now in the studio to share his thoughts on this very issue. Good to have you here.
Thank you
on
for
the News Hour. So let's begin with this matter. What are the implications of these revelations in the petroleum sector?
What it portrays is what has always been the perception that the NNPC is an agency of government that is bereft of transparency. However, we have to know what the issues are, the issues in contention, and what the law says in regard of those issues. The leak memo by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ibe Kachiku, highlighted some points. I'll start with appointments. He said the Group Managing Director had made some appointments in violation of due process without consulting him or the board of the NNPC that he chairs. I find some merit in that aspect of the memo, because if the NNPC, the Group Managing Director, makes appointments without reflecting federal character as insinuated, which is even a conditional requirement under Section 14 of the Constitution, and without consulting with the board of the NNPC, there is a need to complain, because the Minister of State is the chairman of the board. So in his capacity as the chairman of the board of the NNPC, he can raise requisitions. He can raise questions on the manner appointments are made into an agency whose board he is the chairman. However, on the issue of procurement, which is alleged to have exceeded the threshold to have been over $20 billion, as we have been told, what the law says, specifically the Public Procurement Act, is that there are two supervising authorities in respect of procurement. Under that law, you have what they call the Parastatal Tenders Board or the Ministerial Tenders Board, where the procurement, where the contracts are awarded, is less than $25 billion. Of course, it has to go through the Federal Executive Council in conjunction with the Ministerial Tenders Board. But under the Public Procurement Act, the board of the NNPC has no role in procurement. That is the point that we have to make. It is the Procurement Board, Tenders Board, the Procurement Tenders Board of the NNPC that has supervisory role over procurements, over award of contracts within the NNPC. My concern is this, that you have the president who also doubles as the Minister of Petroleum, and you have Dr. Ibe Kachiku as the second minister, or what we call the Minister of State. It is expected that, given that the president does not take part in the day-to-day running of the activities of the NNPC, notwithstanding his position as the Minister of Petroleum, which is the supervising ministry of the NNPC, how come that the Minister of State was left in the dark, that he had no information on what is going on within the NNPC?
So what does this suggest to you? It
suggests that there are issues of transparency, there are issues of accountability. Beyond the legality of saying that it is the Tenders Board of the NNPC that has supervisory role in procurement, it is a bit embarrassing that the Minister of State for Petroleum was even denied access to the president.
All right, let's quickly come to the matter at hand. Now, the PDP, the SERAP, and also AMEEJ are calling for investigation into these, allegations made. But aside from investigation, what do you think should be the immediate step the presidency should take on this matter?
We can give our opinion, but events in recent times have shown that matters like this are more often than not swept under the carpet. And the examples are there. We have seen investigations that Nigerians are still waiting for the outcome of those investigations. But we need to also make the point that there has been consistent investigation into the NNPC by successive administrations. While we appreciate the call for investigation, which I support, because that is the only way we can know the truth, we have to clearly ensure that the current administration, which has as the foundation of its policy the war against corruption, is transparent, is able to unravel what exactly is going on. Because we have a situation where the Nigerian Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, NNIT, has indicted the NNPC, has made allegations that trillions of naira has been stolen through NNPC over the years. No government has been able to bring transparency to that industry. Why do we even have to have the president as the Minister of Petroleum? Why can't we have an independent person? And how come that these contracts were not advertised? Because if they were, the Minister of State would have read about it. He claimed he heard these things in the press, and he had no prior knowledge about it. How did he hear about it in the press? Is it by newspaper reports? Did this procurement follow due process? Is it possible that the Minister of State, who is a member of the Federal Executive Council, was not in the meeting of the Federal Executive Council meeting when these approvals for these contracts were made?
Okay, so you are trying to say now you have every skepticism or, doubts that this government is, will I say, able to handle the issue of corruption squarely.
I'm saying that the facts that we have seen in recent times, there are still allegations because the government has not said this is the outcome of the investigations that have been made. Look at the case of the Chief of Staff to the President, who was alleged, I'm using the word alleged, to have been induced in respect of the scandal involving MTN. Nothing has come out of that. Look at the case of the SGF. Nothing has come out of that. Look at the case of the chief of the chief of army staff. Nothing has come out of that. Even the Minister of Interior, Dambaswa, who was even recently accused of some allegations of corruption, nothing has come out of this. So what we are saying is that President Buhari should use this opportunity to demonstrate to Nigerians that he can fight corruption both within and outside the government. We cannot just fight corruption outside the government. How come that the Minister of State, and how come that this memo is coming to the public now, and how come that it is just now that the memo is being made to have access to the President, and it is even being made a news that the Minister of State for Petroleum is visiting the President, and it is a matter of national discourse. That shows how decayed the system has become. Because this is an agency that is responsible for over 75% of the resources of this country, of our national budget. And the Minister of State for Petroleum, who is in charge of what is going on in that ministry, does not have access to the President.
So in a nutshell, what do you want the presidency to do in this?
The President should demonstrate to Nigerians that the war against corruption is sincere, that the war against corruption is transparent, and the war against corruption is not discriminatory.
All right, and let me thank you very much, human rights lawyer Inibehe Effiong, for your analysis in depth for this on this issue. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me.
You're watching TVC News. We'll take a break and be back with more stories. Stay with us.